So today's class, we are going over marketing in Command. And to get started, I am at the sign-in page for Command. I'm at agent.kw.com. I'm going to go ahead and get signed in, and I will give you a moment to do the same as well. Now, when accessing Command, we recommend using either Firefox or Google Chrome. We've noticed that Command tends to work best in those browsers. Now, once we're signed in, before we go in and start creating any marketing today, we do want to touch on a couple things in our settings. So from my Command homepage, I'm going to click on Scott's name up at the top right. And from here, let's click Settings. Once we click Settings, that brings us into our Applications page. And there are a few things we want to make sure we have set up for today's class. Now, these are all the apps that we have connected to Command. If you wanted to connect additional apps, you can go up here and click Connect More Apps or go to the Marketplace. Toward the top of our page, these are apps that we currently have connected. So today in our class, we're going to be touching on scheduling social media posts, ads, email campaigns, and there are a few things in here you want to set up ahead of time. So right here toward the top, these are our apps that are currently connected. And you can see we have Facebook connected twice. So for post scheduling and ads manager. So if you are going to be utilizing post scheduling, it's similar to Hootsuite. You'll want to make sure your Facebook is connected here. And if you're running Facebook ads, you'll want to make sure it's connected here as well. Now for any one of these, for example, if we wanted to set up Twitter post scheduling, all we need to do is go to the far right and click Connect Account. And it'll have us sign into that account that we are linking to Command. So for today's class, I definitely recommend Facebook for post scheduling. We'll be doing that together. And this is a great question. Post scheduling, this is only for business pages. Same for the ads manager. You're connecting and signing in with your personal Facebook account, but you're posting and creating ads for your business page. So you have to have a business page set up in order to use post scheduling and to run ads. Now, if we scroll down, of course, you can connect Twitter for social posting, for ads. You can also set up Google AdWords. But I do want to point out this email services section. We have Command Email and Mailchimp. Now, previously for email campaigns, our only way to send out email campaigns was through Mailchimp. And you can still utilize Mailchimp, but the cool thing now is we have Command Email, which means we can send out email campaigns directly to people that are already in our Command database. If you want to utilize Mailchimp, you'd have to also move your contacts over into Mailchimp. So Command Email, you can utilize this now. This is where we set up our reply to email. So I'm going to go over to the right of Command Email and click Manage. Now, if you send out an email campaign or a smart plan, it's going to be sent from a generic KW email address. But if anybody replies to that email, whether that's a smart plan or an email campaign, this is determining where that reply will go to. So you really want to make sure that your sender name is set up here as well as your reply to email. From here, you can select any one of these options. These are your different emails you have listed, but you can also add in a custom email. But you'll want this to be your main business email where you want to receive those responses. Below that, you can also manage your monthly account usage. You get 5,000 free emails per month. If you find that you're sending more than that, you can manage your subscription and pay to have more emails available to you. All right. Let's go over to the left and click on Connect Settings, and then Marketing Profile. Now, this is a section you also want to touch on before you create any marketing, because in certain elements within your email campaigns, any landing pages you create, things like that, they are going to pull your personal information from this marketing profile. So you will want to make sure that your photo and team logo are added in here. Your personal details, your contact information, of course, anything with this little red star is required. You can add in your compliance information. If you are from an office or a state that requires compliance links or documents, you can add those in here. We can also assist you with that, your social media information, and so on. So you definitely want to just take a quick glance at this to make sure that your contact info is correct, as well as your logos here. So you can update that right away and click Save down at the bottom. Let's get into creating some marketing. Now, before we go into the campaign section, we're actually going to touch on designs briefly. Now, I do teach a class on Designs 101, but we're going to touch on creating a quick social piece as well. So I'm going to click on Designs over here on the far left. And this is actually our applet menu on the left. And while you're learning what these different applets and icons are, you can actually click on the KW on the top left, and it'll expand this menu and show you the name of each section. So let's go into Designs and click on the icon that looks like a paintbrush. So I'm going to drop this in the chat. All of our recorded classes are on slmtraining.com. My Designs 101 class is typically the second Friday of every month. And then somebody asked about designs for teams. I'm not quite sure when those will become available. I'm also going to drop in our email address, support@scottleroymarketing.com. If I don't get to your questions today, please shoot us an email after class and we'd be happy to help further. All right, so when I clicked on designs, that brought us into our My Design Templates. Now, this is a library of pieces we've created before. And we can scroll through and see our different email pieces. Ooh. And it's not letting me click on this page. Bear with me for 1 second. Let me just go ahead and refresh. All right, so you can scroll through and view different pieces that you've created in the past. You can see your emails, landing pages, social posts, print pieces, and your agent website pieces or pages are edited here as well. Now to create a new piece, we're going to go down to the bottom right. We're going to create a social post really quickly today so that we can go into the social posting section and go ahead and post that out together. So from here on the bottom right, I'm going to click the plus sign and then select social. I'm also going to import photos and text from a listing. That's going to make it really easy for me to quickly create my social post. So I'm going to click next. And from here, it brings up a KWLS search page. You can actually select listings from the KWLS. So I'm going to search for my property here. I entered in the listing address and I'm going to select the listing here. And now it's going to bring me into designs. All right. Over here on the left, these are our templates that we have access to. Again, I do teach a class on Designs 101, so we're just going to do a very quick overview of creating a piece today. So on the left, these are the designs I have available to me. I'm going to go into listings and then for sale. So right now we're going to create a Facebook post that we're going to post together in the email or the social post campaign section. So I'm going to click social wide. These are going to show me the pieces that are formatted for Facebook. And I'm just going to select this first option here. And yes, this is a training is being recorded. I'll have this on our YouTube and on our website later today. So what I did was I selected a social piece that I want to create, and we're just going to quickly go through and edit this. Now on the left, I have the options to manually update items on this piece, but if I click KWLS, it's going to make it really easy for me to quickly update my piece here. So when I clicked on KWLS, because I had already selected my listing, it's pulling over my listing details and photos. Now, I do also want to point out, unfortunately, the photos in KWLS have been acting a little funny recently. So I'm going to try adding this in. If it doesn't work, we can manually upload the photo. But typically, you'd be able to just go over here on the left and drag over your photos that you'd like to use. So you can see I clicked on this photo. I'm dragging it over on top of where I want to replace this. And once I drop it, there we go. So typically it would load perfectly. Unfortunately, Command is experiencing this error where it's doing this. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go over to images. And let me go ahead and get this image on my computer. So if that gives you that error, what we can do is we can go into images and then add. And I can actually upload this photo directly from my computer. So I can click here. Looks like I'd actually already previously uploaded this, but I'm going to click here to select the photo from my computer. And bear with me for 1 second. All right, I should have this photo saved. Here we go. All right, so I'm selecting the photo from my computer. And now what I can do is I can take that same step and just drag it over. So if you're having issues with the KWLS photos, just go ahead and go into Add, Images Add, and you can manually upload that here. I can also click on the photo directly and click Reposition to go ahead and change how this is cropped as well. Now, for these social pieces, we want to keep it pretty simple because we're going to put more information in the body of the post when we actually create the Facebook post. So all I'm going to do is just update the information on this piece. I'm going to update the property info. So I'll go back into KWLS and then listing details, and I can find my listing details here. I can also just manually click in this box and type it in, but I'm going to hit this replace button here. I found my property address, and that'll plug that in right away for me. Now you may have to readjust this. As you can see, it doesn't add in the state, and it pushed the text down to a second line. So I'm just going to move this over really quick, readjust this, and you can see it's really easy. I'm just moving things around. These grid lines are popping up, so things are kind of snapping into place. I can make sure everything is aligned perfectly. So the address is there. Here, I'm just going to double click in this box and manually update the info. So this home is 4-bed and 3.5 bath. I may have to readjust that text box again. Let's see. And right here, I'm just clicking in this box and typing in the new text, the square footage, and then the price. Perfect. Now I'm going to change when this was built, which was 2021. Well, brand new home. And then change out my logo. So I have logos uploaded previously in my assets. So I'm just going to use one of these. Readjust this. Oop. And now this is good to go. Now I know I went through this pretty quickly, but I wanted to give you guys a preview of actually creating a piece. I do go over this more in my Designs 101 class. We go over creating a social post. We go over creating a print flyer, but you have some really great designs available to you in the design section. You have Facebook pieces, Instagram pieces, you have landing listing presentations, different brochures that you can use. There's a new like magazine that you can create in there. Lots of great stuff in designs, but for today's class, we're just going to quickly put together this social piece. So this is now good to go. So I do want to save this. So I'm going to go up here and change the name of the design. So I'm going to click in this box and I'll just call this Bellagio FB. So this is my Facebook piece we're going to post together. And what I can do now is I can actually go to this download button if I wanted to and download a JPEG of this file. And then I could open up a new tab and go to Facebook and post it that way. But we're going to actually go into our campaign section and we can pull directly from our design library. So this piece is good to go. Very quickly, I was able to create a social post. So now let's go ahead and click done at the top right. And we're going to go back into Command and check out our campaigns. Now, once we're back in Command, let's click on the icon that looks like a megaphone, and that's going to bring us into the campaign section. Now, within Command, there are free and paid campaigns. Our free campaigns would be our social posts and our email campaigns. And then there are paid campaigns like Facebook ads, paid advertising campaigns, and direct mail. So let's start today by creating a social post. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on social posts up here at the top right. And this brings us into our social post dashboard. So from here, you can actually see a schedule of your posts that you've created. So the great thing about this, if you've ever used Hootsuite, you can actually set up and schedule your social media posts ahead of time. We like to say set it and forget it. So we recommend maybe going in on a Sunday, scheduling all your posts for the week, and then they'll automatically post for you on your Facebook page right away. So we don't have anything scheduled right now. Let's go ahead and create a new post. So to create anything within campaigns, we're going to go up to the top right and click create a new campaign. From here, we need to choose which type of campaign. We're going to start with social post. And for all of what we're going to do today, it's going to follow a very similar structure. We're going to work through the different items on the left, and it's going to build what we're creating over here on the right. So we are creating a social post for that piece we just created. Now I'm going to skip over the text for now and go into the images. So from here, I have the option to upload a photo, a video, or add a link, but we just created that Facebook piece together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Browse Design Library. And these are all of my social pieces that I've created in my library. So you can see right here, this is that piece we just created. So I'm going to select this. And it's going to pull this into the piece that I'm creating. Now you will need to crop this. You can choose a square or wide, or you can just manually crop this. If I choose wide, it's going to be the perfect size. And now I'm going to crop the image. And you can see it's starting to build our Facebook post over here on the right. Now in the text, we have 2,200 characters. So I would probably say something like just listed in Spring Hill. And we do have quite a few characters that we can utilize here. So after that, I would probably put in the property description. You go ahead and paste that in. And then maybe something like contact today for more information. You can completely customize this. And again, that's why we have the post itself is pretty brief. It doesn't have too much detailed info on there. We're going to put more of that info here in the body of the post. So we have 2,200 characters, and this looks good to me. Scrolling down, there is a Dba logo section that you can add on here. You can see it's kind of small on the screen, but our piece, we had a logo on here already. But what this is doing is if this didn't have a logo, it's basically plugging in a logo on top of it. So you can see if I click right, it moves it over. So you can see that's the logo it's referencing. Since I already have a logo on my piece, I can go ahead and remove this. I'm going to click the X here, and that'll take that extra logo off the piece. There's also an option to include your ownership statement. It's just going to put this little bit of text here on the piece, but we already had that on there as well. So I'll go ahead and remove that. So that is good to go. And you can add in additional images. They say they recommend 1 to 4, but I created this piece. This looks good. I'm just going to go with that. Now all we need to do is choose if we want to schedule the post or publish immediately. I'm going to go ahead and schedule. It does recommend Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. And then below, I can actually select what time I'd like this to post. When I click on the calendar, it's going to allow me to choose the day and time. So I'm going to choose tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. And I'm at the bottom of my browser. There isn't a save button on this little screen. So all you have to do once you've selected the date and time, just click away from that and you can see it updates. All right, so we've selected when we'd like to post, and then we can see our Facebook account is connected here since we did that in our settings ahead of time at the beginning of class. If you wanted to connect a new account, you had that option here, but basically our post is good to go. And then somebody had the question, I don't see the listing agent info. So if you're posting somebody else's listing, you'll have to manually add that in. And I would probably add that in on the post itself. But you're posting on your Facebook page. So whoever's seeing this should know that it is coming from you and to contact you. But if it's not your listing, I would check with your office, your broker, that agent, and see how they want their information displayed on here. So you would have to, for this social post, you would have to manually add that in and determine how that needs to be displayed. But this is good to go. We've answered all of these items over here on the left. This is a preview of what our post looks like. Now what I can do is I can schedule this post or save it as a draft. This is scheduled to go out tomorrow morning, so I'll go ahead and click Schedule Post. And now this is going to take us back to our command dashboard, and we can see here's our post. It's scheduled to go out tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. And you could scroll through and see what the rest of your post for the week will look like as well. Once this goes out, I'll be able to monitor how many likes, comments, and shares this post received. I also want to point out over on the right, there are these quick posts. These are posts already created for you that you can use. If I wanted to use any one of these, I can click on this arrow here. And it's basically put together a post for you. You can shuffle through and change the text. And if you wanted to use this, of course, you can change this out, change the photos, but you can schedule that right away and use these suggested posts here as well. Now, I don't actually want this to go out tomorrow, so I'm going to click on this ... and I'll just go ahead and edit this and put this in draft mode real quick. Oh, and actually, once it's scheduled, you can't change it to a draft. So I would have to just delete this. So I'm going to delete that. I don't want that to go out tomorrow. But that is how you can create social posts. Again, we like to say set it and forget it. It's a great tool for you to utilize maybe before your week starts. Go in, add some creative posts, utilize these quick posts, change them up, customize them, create some posts for your listings, and then those will post automatically for you once you have them scheduled here. Now, our other free campaign within Command would be an email campaign. So I'm going to click on emails. This is going to be different than your smart plans. Smart plans follow more of a campaign structure where they are scheduled emails, like multiple emails that may go out. An email campaign in here is more of like an email blast. So down below, you can see some of our email campaigns that we've created previously. We can see the status that they're in and the date that they go out, as well as how many views, clicks, and bounces were received. You can view more information of that up here at the top as well. To create a new email campaign, I'm going to click Create a New Campaign. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we do that, when you're creating an email campaign, you have the option to choose where you're going to send this to. So we recommend setting up email lists ahead of time. If you don't do that, I'll show you where you can also set that up when you're actually creating the email campaign. But from this page here, you'll see this option for configure lists. So I'm going to click on that, and this is where I can set up my email list, or who I want to send my emails to. You can create multiple different email lists. Maybe you have a farming list, friends and family, SOI. You can set up those lists and manage them here. To create a new list, I'm going to click Create List. And basically, I can just select contacts from my email list. So you can see we have the friends characters in here. I'm just going to select some of those. Enter my list name. I can click through and manually scroll through the contacts. I can also search by name, email, or neighborhood by typing in here, or I can select contacts by tag. So if you want to use different email groups, definitely come here and set up those email lists. I'm creating an email list called friends, and I'm selecting my friends. And I'm going to click confirm. Now, when we actually go in to create that email campaign or email blast, I'm going to be able to select my email list that I've already created. So somebody asked the difference between a smart plan and a campaign. So the smart plan, like I said, it kind of follows more of a campaign structure. So it's something automated. You add contacts to it. There may be a step, like first step is a text message. It waits a few days, then it sends an email, waits a few days, maybe it sends another email. So a smart plan follows that kind of campaign structure. Email campaigns or campaigns within here, specifically emails, it's a one-time email blast. You can, of course, set up multiple email blasts and schedule them for different days. But these are more of like a one-time email. It is different from the campaigns the smart plans, where they're more of an automated thing. Somebody asked about Instagram. You can't schedule posts for Instagram, unfortunately, but you can run Instagram ad campaigns. All right, and then one last question before we keep going. Has there been an update about seeing which emails have bounced, unsubscribed, and so on? So unfortunately, right now, this info here, let me go back here. I believe this may not be accurate at this time. There's also within your reports, you can see detailed information about how many emails were clicked, opened, and so on. I don't believe that's pulling over properly at this time. And I'm not quite sure when that is going to be resolved, unfortunately. Somebody asked about posting a recurring post. I think you just have to recreate it every time. I'm not quite sure if there's a way to duplicate a post in here. Let me go ahead and just check that real quick. I'm just going to do a quick post. Yeah, great question. And actually, let me make sure this is, okay, scheduled for tomorrow. I don't believe, unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to duplicate a post so that it's recurring and happening, at the same time every week or whatever it is, once a month. I think you just have to manually create that post again. But great question. Hopefully that'll become available to us soon. But back to emails, we did create our email list. So now let's actually go in and create an email campaign. Again, this is more of like an email blast. So same thing, I'm going to go to the top right and click create a new campaign. And from here, let's select email. Under campaign name, I'm going to create an email blast for my listing. So I'm going to call my campaign name the listing address. My goal is to advertise my listing, and then I have the option to choose command, email, or Mailchimp. This is basically selecting which database we're going to send to. I want to send to my command contacts, so I'm going to leave this as command email and then click Setup Campaign. Again, same sort of structure. We're going to go through and answer these questions on the left to build our email over here on the right. So number one, we've already selected the listing and command email. So this is already selected for us. We don't have to do anything there for 1 and 2. Now step 3 is selecting our email list. I can create a new list. If you didn't create your list ahead of time, you can also create that here. But I already have my email list ready to go. So all I need to do is click on this drop-down menu and select Friends. And there we go. I can also edit my email list if I need to here. Sender from. This is the command email that we went through in our settings at the beginning of class. It's our sender name and our sender reply to. This is pulling from our command email. Under subject, I'm going to say just listed in Spring Hill. You have 80 characters there. And then content. So I'm going to click on this option that says select design content for your email. And this is pulling over email pieces we've created in the past. So these are templates from our library, but I actually want to create a new piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click KWRI templates. And these are all of our templates we have available to us. You'll see there are also, there's some just listed ones. Oh, there's a tax day one, that's new. There's some holiday pieces in here. So you can utilize all of these. And these are customizable as well. So I'm going to go ahead and find the one that we want for today. I'm searching for modern. Let's see. Here we go. We're going to do modern for sale, or I'm sorry, modern just listed. So I searched the keyword modern up here at the top. And I'm going to select modern just listed, and we're going to build this email together. All right, so this is our email piece over here. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to click on these different elements and start to build our email. I do want to point out anything up here where you see text that has the little stars, the asterisks around it, that means it's going to auto-populate. So this stuff like agent first name, last name, contact info, all of this, that's going to pull from our marketing profile. So that's why we set that up ahead of time. But let's go ahead and just start to edit this piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by editing this image here. I'm going to click on this and then click the pencil button. From here, we need to add in an image. So I'm going to click replace. We can see images that I've uploaded before. I can add images from my computer. I can also utilize listing images. Now I believe within the email campaigns, the listing images are pulling over. So let's go ahead and test that. So I clicked listing images and I'm searching for my listing here. Selecting my listing and you can see it's pulling over the photos. I clicked my photo and I'm going to click replace. Now once you'll see it puts in the photo here. You can also adjust the sizing. You can add a link if you'd like. But I'm going to click done. So I added in my image and I'm clicking done. And you can see it plugs in my photo here. I want to change out this text for the listing address. So I'm going to click on the text and again, click that pencil button. And I'm going to go ahead and type in the listing address. All right, this looks good. Let's click done. And there we go. It was added in. Again, I'm just clicking and editing. So I'm clicking on the listing price. I'm going to click the pencil button and edit this text over here on the right. All right, click done. You can see it's plugging it in. Now for some of these, you can see it added in an extra line below. You may have to just kind of mess with this a little bit. Let's see what happens when I do that. Well, there we go. So we'll keep testing that. So now I'm going to click on this text here, click the pencil button. I believe this was 4-bed, 3.5 bath, and I'll edit the square feet. Then click done. All right, this section here is some filler text. This is where we can put in our property description. So again, same thing, clicking on the piece that or part of the piece that I'd like to edit. I'm going to click the pencil button. And now I'm going to paste in my property description. Ooh, and it did something funny there. So I just pasted directly from the KWLS. Let me see if I can get this. All right, let's see what that does. I pasted from the KWLS and it did kind of format that in a funny way, but I'm going to just see what happens when we click done. All right, so that's not going to work. We definitely want to reformat that. So I'm going to click that pencil button again. And I'm just going to try. So some of this might be a little bit of trial and error. I'm going to click cancel. And if something like that happens, what you can also do, you can also delete this text. So I'm going to click, if you don't want this element here, I can click this trash can button and it's just going to remove that completely. I can also pull over these different widgets from the right. So for example, if I wanted another image right here, I can drag this from the right and wherever this green line appears, that's where the widget would go. And once I let go of my mouse, I can add in an image there. So you can customize this. So my text was acting a little funny there. So let me go ahead and click. I went ahead and removed that other text box. So I'm going to use this one and click the pencil button. Let's see, there we go. So what I did, I was pasting directly from the KWLS and it formatted my text sort of funny. So I just went ahead and pasted this in Word really quick and then copied it again and pasted it here and it kind of fixed that formatting. So again, there might be some trial and error when you're formatting these. And if you have trouble, definitely reach out to us and we can try and give you some pointers as well. This looks good. Let's click done. And there we go. There's my property description. We have some spots for some photos here. So I'll just click this really quick and add in a couple more photos from my listing. So I am having to search for my listing again. But the great thing is you can select your listings from KWLS, making it really easy to just go ahead and plug in those photos. So listing photo there. Again, just going kind of quickly. It does follow the same steps, clicking the pencil, clicking replace, searching my listing photos. Clicking done, and there we go. My photos have been plugged in. So you can see this is starting to come together. Now there's a button here that says view listing. When somebody receives this email, we want them to be able to click on this button and be brought to the listing. So I'm going to click the pencil. And we can change what this button says. So for example, I could say learn more. And I want to select where this link is going to take them to. I can choose a landing page. If I have a landing page in command set up for this listing, I can choose that. I can add a merge tag or I can add a web address. So I would recommend either a landing page. So if you have a standalone landing page for this listing, I would recommend either using that or maybe a direct web page. So for example, this agent has their listing on their website. So I'm going to direct this link to their website to view that specific listing on their web page. So when somebody clicks on this, they're going to be brought to the Stormberg Group's website to view this listing specifically. You can update these items around the button as well. You can change the color, the positioning. You can change it from square to rounded. But once I click done, this is going to update and we can see that here. So now when somebody clicks on this, when they open this email, they're going to be brought to the Stormberg Group's website. Again, all of this info is going to auto-populate for us. So what I'm going to do up here at the top left, I'm going to change the file name. So I'm going to say Bellagio just listed email. And you may see some information. I just got an error message. It says merge tags failed. There's a tag on here that says agent license number, and that is what is erroring out for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and look for that agent license number. It's right here. And since I don't have an agent license number in the marketing profile, because Scott's not an agent, I need to remove this from the email. So let's see, actually, I should be able to just delete, no, okay, yeah, I can delete this one specifically. So if you get an error like that, you either need to add it in or remove it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. And I know there's an agent license number down here as well. And actually that might be okay. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this to save. And let's see, so this is acting just a little funny. So here we go, agent license number. It's still not allowing me to save. So I'm just looking for that agent license number again. Because I don't want to lose our work here. So bear with me for 1 second. I apologize, guys. I want to be able to edit this, but I'm not sure it's going to let me. Okay, we're going to try something different here. All right, so I'm having a problem here specifically where it's not pulling over the agent license number because I don't have an agent license number in my marketing profile. So just for the purpose of this class, I'm going to go ahead and delete this footer here. If you can, so I was able to remove the agent license number from this section. If you get that error, it tells you exactly what you're missing. So I could go into my marketing profile and add an agent license number there, and it should be fine. But I'm just going to go ahead and delete this, and we should hopefully now be able to save this. So I'm just going to go ahead and preview this. So let's see if this will refresh for us. Now we can see a preview of what our email is going to look like. Looks pretty good to me. And I'm not quite sure why. Okay, so the legal footer is required, and it's not, the tricky thing is it's not saving because I don't have an agent license number added in. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to go ahead and try and figure out this error real quick so we can move forward with our email. So this is telling me it won't save because I don't have an agent license number. It's trying to pull from my marketing profile. So what I'm going to do, going back into my marketing profile, and I'm just going to add in an agent license number. And hopefully that will go ahead and fix this. So the good thing is it's telling me exactly why it's erroring. And I am just, again, there we go. Okay. Trial and error. It'll tell you exactly what you're missing. I was able to add in that agent license number, and now this is good to go. So I've added in my new name for this piece. I'm going to go ahead and just click save one more time to make sure that we don't lose our work. And now I'm going to save and exit. Now, when we do this, let's see. You can see now I selected that piece from my design library and it's plugged it in over here on the right. So I can see a preview of what my email piece is going to look like. If we click actions over here on the top right, I would recommend sending a test email so you can see what this looks like. I also recommend adding yourself to the email list so you can see this exactly when it goes out and see exactly what it looks like. So my email is good to go. Now what I can do is I can save this as a draft. I can also schedule this ahead of time. So if I click schedule, I can choose exactly when I'd like this to be sent. Change the date and time and schedule. I can also send immediately if I'd like. So now we can see I saved this. This is scheduled to go out tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. For the email campaigns, you can actually duplicate these. I can go in to make further changes if I need to, but I'm going to go ahead and cancel this so I don't send this out tomorrow. All right. So the last thing, so a couple questions. Somebody asked, can we create our own or must we use a template? So you can go into email or into designs and you can create a custom email from there. And you can manually add in photos, text blocks, photo blocks, and manually put it together that way. And you can also use those templates and tweak them to your liking to make them customized. The last campaign, well, now we're going to switch to paid campaigns. So I'm not going to be able to go over Facebook ads today, but I do want to show you guys, we have a class on Facebook ads 101. Just so we make sure we have enough time to touch on the other items today, I do want to send you the link to our Facebook ads class. Now this class, this is taught on a Monday here at Scott Leroy Marketing. This is our Facebook Ads 101. So I'm sending the link to that. We're not going to be able to go over advertising paid ads today, but those are managed here in the campaign section as well. If you are going to be running any sort of ads or Facebook ads through Command, definitely check out that class. Either watch the recorded one or check it out live. That's taught by Elizabeth. But we're going to also show you today direct mail campaigns. So again, I said in Command, we have paid campaigns and free. Free are email blasts, email campaigns, or social posts. And then paid are these paid advertising campaigns like Facebook ads. And then direct mail, you can actually send out postcards through Command. Now from here, we can see information about direct mail campaigns that we've sent. Let's go ahead and click Create a New Campaign at the top, and this time choose Direct Mail. Again, same sort of structure. It's going to ask for your campaign name, your goal, I'm advertising a listing, and then down toward the bottom, we have a couple options. We can use a default template, which is what we're going to do today, or you can upload a custom template. Now in Designs, where we created that social post, there are also postcard templates that you can use. So when I go into default, there's only, I think, 3 or 4 templates that we can use. If you're looking for something different, you can go into Designs over here, and they have quite a few different postcard templates. You can actually create the postcard from Designs and then upload that custom template here. But for today's class, we're just going to use the default templates, and I'm going to click Setup Campaign. This should be looking familiar. Again, we're going to choose our listing. So over here, it says show only my listings. I want to see all listings and search for my specific listing I'm looking for. Select my listing, and this is going to make it really easy for me to quickly put together this postcard. Over here on the left, we're going to answer these questions to set up our postcard, and over on the right, we can see our postcard templates. So from within here, you only have these 4 options. There's a 4x6, a 6x9, and 2 6x11s. I'm just going to choose this first one here, the 4x6 KW Compact. If you click Preview Postcard, it'll give you a preview of what this is going to look like. So we haven't gone through these steps yet. It isn't completely built, but you can see basically the structure of what this postcard is going to be. Again, if you want to use something different than this, you can go into designs and create a postcard from there, which you can upload and then send out via command. So I'm choosing 4x6. Over here on name and goal, we've already selected that, and we've already selected our listing. So we're just going to glance through this and make sure that this is all correct. Looks like I need to add in some beds and baths. I think this was 3.5 bedrooms, if I'm not, or bathrooms. Yep, 3.5 bathrooms. And then a description. So you get 575 characters for the property description. I'd recommend keeping this pretty short and sweet. It's just on a postcard. This property description is only 361 characters, so that looks good for me. So I'm going to click save. And now we can see this section is completed. We have our green check mark. Now let's select our listing photo for the postcard. Since we pulled or selected a listing from KWLS, it's pulling over our photos again for us. If your photos within the KWLS are not high res, it'll alert you and you may want to just manually update that. So I'm going to select my listing photo here. And that should be good to go. Again, if you want to use a different image, you can click upload and replace and upload an image directly from your computer. So I'm going to click save. And now let's update our agent information. So this is pulling from that marketing profile again. Just verify that this is correct. Make sure your headshot is good to go and your contact info. This is perfect. So I'm going to click save. And there we go. We're moving right along. Under Market Center, it does pull over the Market Center info, but you do need to add in the state and the zip. And then there's a spot for a DBA logo. Now, the logo that we have uploaded in our marketing profile is not a square. This is requiring that it's a square. So I'm going to actually upload a different logo for this postcard that I have saved on my computer. And that should work out a lot better. So once you've finished typing in the address, you will click Verify Address. Just confirm that that is correct. And that is good to go. Now I'm going to go back over here to the right to click Preview Postcard. And you can see this is what the postcard is going to look like when it sends out. And that looks great. Let's go into targeting. Now we have two options here. We can do local targeting, which if we select that, we'll configure the targeting on our next step, or target my database. To target your database, your contacts do have to have a mailing address saved. So keep that in mind. I'm advertising this listing, so I'm going to do local targeting to try and get some new contacts and new leads for this listing. And we'll set up our targeting next. So I'm clicking local targeting and then save. And then under budget, you can choose how many postcards, how many people we're going to send this to, and then the postage class. So our choice here is first class, and we're sending 200 postcards. You can adjust this here as well. So that looks good to go. I have green check marks for all of these steps, and I'm going to click step 2, configure targeting, because we are targeting based on an area. So we chose local targeting. Let's go ahead and click step 2, configure targeting. Am I sure I want to create this campaign? Yes. Oh, couple great questions. Can I create my own custom postcard through Canva and upload that here? Yes, you can. And when you go to upload the postcard that you created, it'll tell you the specific specs on what size it needs to be, the bleed, all of that. And you can upload that directly. And if you have any trouble, sometimes even pulling over postcards from the design section in Command can be a little tricky. We have Brittany Duval here, who is great at that. So if you have trouble uploading your custom design, let us know and we can help. Somebody asked, do these features work for Canada? I am not quite sure, unfortunately. And then somebody said the photo resolution was too low. I would say try manually uploading them. I had to do that earlier and it did work out, but if you have trouble with that, let us know. I'm dropping in our email in the chat, support@scottleroymarketing.com if you guys need further help with that. All right, so now we set up our targeting. Now for this specific listing, you can choose where you want to send this to. So this is basing my targeting off the location. Whoop, I zoomed out, off the location of the listing. Here we go. So it's choosing 200 homes in the neighborhood of the listing. You might want to target the listing because maybe these people in this neighborhood know somebody that wants to move to the neighborhood. Maybe somebody in here wants to sell and you can give them information about what their home may be listed at. So that's one reason why you would want to send to the neighborhood the listing is actually in. But if you wanted to change that, you can actually add in a different address here and target people in a different area. But I'm just going to leave this. It's targeting 200 people, 200 homes around where this listing is located. I can change the filters over here on the left. I can choose how many people I want to target and what types of homes. But I'm just going to go with what they have set up. My budget, my total is $118. This looks good. I'm going to click next. And then basically all I have to do is pay for it. So you'll enter in your payment information and then this order will process. It looks like these will go out within 4 to 6 business days. And of course, up here at the top, here's a preview of what the postcard looks like. You can click here to view a larger preview. I do want to note, once you hit make a payment, there's no way to stop this. So make sure to absolutely proof this as many times as you can. Make sure everything's good to go. Make sure you're happy with your targeting or your mailing list, because once you finish this process, that you cannot make any changes and you cannot stop the order. So definitely want to warn you of that here. And there we go. That will start to go out. And that is actually about it for today's class. I know we went over a ton of stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go over paid ads, but check out that Facebook Ads 101 class. Also check out my Designs 101 class if you want to go more over designs. I know we went through that really briefly at the beginning of class. I do see some further questions coming in. Please shoot us an email and we'd be happy to take a closer look at those items for you. I am recording this class, so this will be on our YouTube and website later today. But thank you guys for watching our class. I hope you all have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.